Hi there, Steve here at the Life and Sad Ending channel. It's Friday night, it's almost the weekend, so let's see what's on TV. Tonight we're going back in time to watch TV on our Friday evening on Friday the 3rd, 1967. On the cover of the TV guide we have the Monkees, and they were on the air in that time, and they're one of the shows that are on Friday night. So let's check out and see what's here. We'll start at 7 o'clock. And looks like here we have Wanted Dead or Alive, which was like a repeat of the Steve McQueen Western that he did back in the early 60s. They have the news, which is in color with Chet Huntley and David Brinkley, followed by a rerun of The Rifleman. Here at 7 o'clock it says on Channel 6 we have the Monkees. Every rock group except our lovable Monkees has been invited to a TV audition, so the Mop Tops try to crash their way to stardom. And that episode also had Carl Ballantine, who you'll remember was on McHale's Navy. Channel 9, they have Robin Hood. That was the Richard Green show from the 50s. And then at 7:30, we have Tarzan. And that was the 60s Tarzan starring Ron Ely. Also at 7:30, in color, we have The Wild Wild West. Of course, Robert Conrad, Ross Martin, John Astin was the guest star in that episode. And Malachi Throne, who was in many different series. All right, we have The Green Hornet in color. They had to really designate which shows were in color because you might decide which show to watch only by the fact that it was in color back in the day. Of course, that starred Van Williams as the Green Hornet and his sidekick, Kato, Bruce Lee. At 8 o'clock, oh boy, one of my favorites, The Time Tunnel. And that had Tony, James Darren, and Doug, Robert Colbert. And of course, Whit Bissell, everybody's favorite character actor. And then at 8:30, The Man from U.n.c.l.e. Solo and Ilya are mistaken for thrush agents by a fiery ex-bandit. Oh, wow. Competition. Hogan's Heroes on CBS. Hogan and the boys are working in a German gun factory which they intend to blow sky high. But they have to stall the mission until they can bring back Newkirk, who's been drafted into the German army. Bob Crane, Werner Klemperer, Richard Dawson, John Banner, and Robert Clary, who still is going to this day. And then it looks like they have a movie they're showing on Channel 5 here, Island of Love from 1963. Also, in competition with Island of Love, we have the Tim Conway failed effort, Rango. Tim had a lot of attempts at getting a show going, and Rango was one of them. It says, confusion reigns when Captain Horton uses Rango's resemblance to a debonair thief to locate hidden loot. And at 9:30, we have T.H.E. Cat. T.H.E. Cat seeks a duel to the death with an assassin. This time, Cat's interest is purely personal. The woman he loved has been murdered. The Cat is played by Robert Loggia. Now, that is one series that I don't remember ever watching back in the day, and I watched a lot of TV, but I just don't remember that one. If you remember that show, please leave a comment down below. I'd appreciate hearing about it. And then we have The Phyllis Diller Show. A flaming feud threatens to deprive Phyllis of her only source of income. I don't remember that one, but I do remember Phyllis Diller. I remember her in The Pruitts of Southampton. I don't know if that was before this or after that. And then, of course, at 10 o'clock, we're getting to more of the adult shows. We have the Western Laredo. In competition on ABC were The Avengers, one of my all-time favorites. The See-Through Man, Steed and Emma pursue two notorious Slavic agents who paid a huge sum for an alchemist's invisibility formula. And of course, now we're coming to the later part of the evening when, as a child, I was surely in bed and in 1967. And we had the news, weather, and sports. And let me tell you something. If you wanted to know what the weather was going to be, you had to wait until 11 o'clock. And they weren't giving it away until near the end of the broadcast because they wanted you to watch all the commercials and all the ads. And that's the way it was back in those days. And that's what Walter Cronkite used to say. He'd say, that's the way it is. February 3rd, 1967. Anyway, we have Johnny Carson. It's funny, they didn't call it The Tonight Show then, they just called it Johnny Carson. Up against Johnny Carson on Channel 7 was The Spirit of St. Louis from 1957, starring Jimmy Stewart. Boxing from the Olympic. Boxing. People used to really like to watch boxing when TV was new. Yeah, nothing like seeing two guys beat their brains out. And just one old movie after another here through the rest of the evening. Now, as I recall, many of the stations went off the air. I mean, it came a time after The Tonight Show when they would just do their sign-off and play the national anthem, and they would be nothing but static or a test pattern through the whole night. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. What were some of your favorite shows? Good night and pleasant dreams.